Hi Gemini, welcome to Glow in the Dark Tarot. Um, this is your monthly reading for August 2019. Um, Please feel free to subscribe if you end up liking this video. This video may or may not resonate with you. If it does, great. If it doesn't, great. There are other readers out there. Feel free to check them out. So, I'm going to give you your general reading for the month of August. And then after that, I'm going to upload another reading with your clarifying cards to have an extended reading of what we have here. The way I do my readings is I do past, present, future. I expand on the future cards with the last 5 cards at the bottom of the deck. Alright? So before we start, I'm going to put these cards back at the bottom of the deck the way that they were before. And let's get started. So, Gemini. I think this month is a month of really solidifying a lot of changes that I think that we have begun to make. I think that we went through a period where we kind of cut out a lot of bullshit, cut out a lot of fuckery, cut out a lot of the toxic people in our life. And even though we were fine with doing that, I think that we did kind of have to process it a little bit, like emotionally. But now I think that we are just in a space where we're starting to solidify and really just, I don't know, like live in our new reality that we have created for ourselves. I see with the Judgment card and with beside the Ten of Pentacles and beside the Hermit, you know, I think that there was a period, regardless of what happened in the past, I do think that Geminis have been hurt quite a degree in the past, and that's why we had to cut out so many toxic people. But cutting out all that toxic shit led us to the Ten of Pentacles. And so now we're at a point where we're kind of saying, well, you know, whatever that thing was, whatever job that didn't work out, whatever relationship that didn't work out, it is what it is. And I think that we have this understanding that some of the things that have happened within the last few months, within the last few years, maybe it's just out of our control, and maybe it is kind of karmic. And whatever it is, maybe it was supposed to happen, you know, because we're looking at the things that we have right now and the things that we've worked for, the things that we've cut out, the things that, you know, we've implemented in our lives right now. We're looking at all the friends and people who were with us through the hard times and are still here. Still kind of thinking back on the ones who, when things got hard, left or dipped or were the reason that things got hard. Right now, we're just trusting, really, the process. We're trusting the universe. We're trusting that whatever happened with this Judgment card and the Ten of Pentacles card, maybe it was supposed to happen. And maybe we don't know the reason for why it's happening, but there are some things that we're so much the better for it. I do think that we did spend a lot of time going inward with this Hermit card. You know, Geminis, we do think a lot, and we do overanalyze sometimes, a lot of the times. And I think that there are probably still some things that we are still hashing out in our brains, that we're still thinking about. We're still trying to figure it out, but I do think that we're kind of coming out of that. I think that we're kind of coming out of having to have answers or having to figure things out, because I think instead of us going in circles and circles and circles of thinking about whatever that thing was, thinking about whatever happened that forced us to put ourselves in this position of stability, newness, moving away the toxic things. I think that whatever that was, I think we are getting to a point where we're stopping ourselves from overanalyzing it because it is what it is. Now, with that, I do think that for this month, Geminis, I think we are in the mindset that we kind of just don't care. And I'm not saying I think that we're being nonchalant, but I think that this month we are really letting our true self shine. And I think we're also letting our new self shine. We're not in the mood to have to explain ourselves to people. Okay? We're not in the mood to have to, just let people want to rush in with their bullshit. We're not even in the mood to fight. We're aware that we could. We're aware that we're around some energy that maybe doesn't like us, or some weird energy that maybe is trying to kill our vibe. But right now, we're just kind of in that bitch don't kill my vibe mode. Or you might get hurt, I think that we really have been through some bullshit. I think people have really tried their fuckery with us. And I think now we are really not in the mood to deal with it this month. I think last month, all that stuff, whatever it was, whether it had to do with love, whether it had to do with a career, whether it had to do with money, whether it had to do with family, whatever it was that made the past few months, the past year, the past few years difficult and so heartbreaking, we already dealt with that in Mercury retrograde. For some reason, it just came bubbling back up to the surface, right? And, I think the pain is still there. But I think that we are getting to a point where we are more remembering the pain and looking at the pain and thinking about the pain in a way as what has it done for us instead of what has it done to us. And I think we're transitioning into that mind space. But we really aren't feeling any bullshit. We're not feeling it. And some of these cards I feel like might represent people. I definitely feel like some of these cards represent certain energies. Especially with this Five of Wands card, I feel like you may be surrounded by some haters. I feel like you may be surrounded by some people who are genuinely jealous of you, or some people who love you so much but are too immature to deal with it, with the fact of how much they love you, so they hate you. I think that you are surrounded by some energy that is trying to put Gemini down. But here's the thing. We're not for it right now. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you want to try to rush at me with that bullshit, you're going to get cut down. If you want to try to rush at me with that fuckery or with that haterism, you're going to get cut down. Because right now, I'm doing my own thing, I feel like that's kind of how we are. And I feel like we are still keeping an optimism about us. I think that Geminis, we are very optimistic right now. We're very optimistic about the future and what we want to build and what we want to plan. And I do think that we are in a planning mode for something new, for something better, for something more stable. This could be a new career. It could be starting a new business. This could also be starting a new love life. And I think that we are at a point where we know what we want. I don't think we're worrying so much anymore why we don't have it. And I think that we are getting more picky with our standards. We are getting more vocal with what we want and what we don't want. I do think that there is an aggressive side to us this month, not in the sense of where we want to fight or we want to be in the middle of drama. I feel like we are aggressive in the sense that if drama wants to try and come and start some shit with us, if drama wants to start a fight, we're gonna fucking finish it, Sorry for the cursing, by the way. But, we are aggressively being ourselves this month. And I think that there are people who see that confidence, they see that aggression, they see that phoenix-like resurrection of the Gemini, and some people do have a problem with it. But that's their problem, not ours, right? And I feel like the second that they try to make it our problem, we're going to fix that, But with that, I do think that we are open for new things to come our way. We're very much open for new things to come our way, but the caveat is the new things that come our way have to be better. And not only do they have to be better, but they have to be perfect. I think also a part of us, again, like I said, we're starting to trust the universe. Regardless of how we felt in the past, regardless of what's happened, regardless of what's still around and what we don't want, but we still are kind of still hashing out and thinking about, in spite of our planning for the new, there is a part of us that is just saying it is what it is. And some of this is just beyond me, We're not in a bad mood. We're not in a bad mood. We are, however, getting back to ourselves. But I think that we are using this fire of Leo season, and we are full ablaze. And I think that we will either keep you warm if you are worthy of us keeping you warm, or we will just freaking burn you if you're not. So yeah, we are in our power, getting back to our power. I think that part of us, we are viciously taking back who we are. Viciously taking back our right to not have to explain ourselves to people, not have to explain who we are. And I think that we are getting to a point where we are not going to only unapologetically be ourselves, but we're going to make sure that we're having a good time while we're doing it. And for these people who want to watch, you can watch, but you better not say nothing sideways to me. But nonetheless, we are still in a good mood. Like, we're not in a bad mood. Like, we're not angry. And it's not that we're closed off. We are just closing ourselves off to the wrong things. The things that made us have to go savage and cut off toxic shit, and so that we can get this. Because we are well aware of this now, right? We're well aware of the place that we are now in our lives. All the blessings that we have that happened anyway, in spite of the bullshit before. So we're open, but we're only open to the things that are going to get us more of this, that are going to bring us more stability, that are going to bring us real love, that are going to bring us more joy, and that will be under that judgment energy, to where we don't have to fight for it, we don't have to argue for it, we don't have to beg for it, we don't have to compete for it. It will just flow and happen the way that it should. Meanwhile, I do think that we are planning. We're planning about our future. We're planning about the right things that we want. We're planning about, investing, or, building up our coin. That's what we're thinking about, We're thinking about our money. We're thinking about our career. We're thinking about our wonderful selves. And we're thinking about the things that deserve to be around those things and the things that don't. We're not even thinking about the things that don't. But we're just being really focused and dead ass serious that we don't want that shit. The things that don't belong, we don't want it. I don't care what it looks like, you know? Now, with that, there might be a breaking away with this Three of Pentacles of something that you thought would work out, or some type of job or collaboration or just some type of group or social circle or whatever. I think that we are doing the last little cleanups in our lives to get rid of the things that, you know, that we don't need. So I think that we got rid of the big stuff, you know. But now I think that, you know, there still might be some little things that we have to get rid of still. Maybe those little things we kind of push them off a little bit. Maybe it'll get better. I don't know. We'll just see. But now I think that because you got the big pieces of clutter out of the way, now you can see the little pieces that might need to go as well. And I think that's part of what we're planning. And we're planning to break away from those final chapters in our lives and those final ties to the past. And those final ties to things or people that are toxic or that just no longer serve us. And I don't think that we're going about it in a nasty way or a petty way, but I do think that we are trying to go about it in the most diplomatic of ways for us, if that makes sense. So, you know, we might go about it in a way that works for us. We might talk to who we need to talk to, but we're not going to sit down and take the time to explain ourselves to the people who might feel some type of way, you know. They're probably still going to be doing this shit, you know. We're not really feeling immaturity with this Page of Swords. We're not really feeling being impulsive, even if it's our own. We're not feeling that. And part of us is just chilling with this Nine of Cups. Part of us is just chilling. Just chilling. And this goes back to that Ten of Pentacles, right? I think that we are finally getting to a point where we are getting back to some sort of emotional stability. We have reached some form of clarity at this point. And we have cut so many things out to where we're making time to think about the good things that we have going on for us. The blessings that happen because we let go of the bad shit. I think that, yeah, we were aware of it when it first happened. We knew how we should feel about it. We knew that we should have been grateful. We knew we shouldn't have still been thinking about that thing, whatever that thing was in the past. But I think that we really couldn't do it, you know. I did a reading for Gemini. I didn't post it, but I did a reading for Gemini last month in July. And, you know, one thing I said was, you know, it's really hard to stump a Gemini. It's really hard to stump us emotionally. Now, we are emotional. I mean, the Queen of Cups is out, right? We are emotional. But Geminis, we don't function off our emotion. And we function off our logic, right? And we are so good at detaching ourselves, and we're so good at making decisions that are the best decisions, even when it hurts. Even when it hurts more than us. And we're so good at moving on, but something happened where, for some reason, it was just fucking hard, you know? And Geminis, we are tough emotionally on the outside. We always figure out a way to deal with it. But again, like I said, it is really hard to stump us sometimes, because Geminis, we always find a way to bounce back, right? But this bounce back session took longer than usual. It took longer than usual. And I think that's why some of us maybe chalked it up to, well, fuck it, I guess it's just karma, you know? Because the universe is the only thing that Geminis will agree to is bigger than us, right? And smarter than us. So right now, I think that we are getting to a point where we really have the space emotionally and mentally to really look back and go, damn, like, yeah, that happened, but all these blessings happened too. Man, you know, I really thought they were the one, but I had to let them go in order to get this. This is in the upright, this is in the reverse, right? And I'm curious to think, to wonder if this was in the upright, would this be in the reverse? And sometimes, again, it is what it is. So right now, we're really taking stock of the people who are for us and who aren't. And the things that work and that don't. And we are being the masters of our emotions. We are being contemplative still. I think there are still some things that we think about. We still have feelings. We're human, and I think whatever happened in the past that made this judgment, this Ten of Pentacles, and at one point this Hermit and the Upright card come out. You know, I think at one point we were really emotional about that. And we do still think about that. And it does still hurt. But it is what it is, right? And I think that we are just more interested in chugging along. I think we are more interested in pressing forward and being our great selves than holding back and allowing this energy to really fuck with us. And allowing this energy to think that it will win if it wants to fuck with us. With letting this energy go, with letting this energy be how it is, whatever, you know, we are open, and we are open to the right things, and we are keeping ourselves stable and in check. And we are wanting to come together with the people, the things, the career, the money, the lifestyle that is a perfect union that just flows. That's what we're looking for, and that's what we're focusing on. And we have made up our mind. We're being strong in ourselves. We are welding those doors that were toxic, that maybe, you know, we couldn't put our finger on it, but we had a feeling, something's not quite right. You know what? From now on, I'm not going to go against myself. I know I'm right. I know I'm right. I don't have to wait it out to get proof of why I'm right. I know I'm right. And I think we are kind of being a little bit black and white. I don't think we're going to be completely black and white to where we can't see the gray, but it is what it is. So I feel it was a good reading. Again, we're not in a bad mood. We are just in our power, and we're confident. We know what we know. We did what we did. What happened happened. We got from it what we had to get from it, and we're moving on. And we're moving forward. And we're focusing on ourselves, and we're focusing on the things that work and that are good and that are the best quality, nothing less. So, I hope you liked this reading, Gemini. I really enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel. If this resonated with you, great. If it didn't, great. There are other readers out there. Please feel free to check them out. Please feel free to drop a comment. Again, I'm going to have this same spread out, but I'm going to post another video with the clarifying cards on top of each of these cards for your extended, okay? Thank you so much. Love you.